Happy New Year, bro.
Happy New Year.
2025.
Yeah, how do you feel?
It feels like it hasn't been a half decade. I'm still trying to wrap my head around how fast that the first half of that decade went. From 2020 to 2025 was like a blink of an eye. But yeah, man, I'm feeling good. I feel like the first 5 years was like everything that's going to be building up to the what I expect the real roaring 20s is going to be 2025 to 2030.
Yes, sir.
That's how I feel. How you feeling?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to think about the last 5 years that much because they were incredibly painful and
Yeah.
frustrating, infuriating, filled with doom and gloom and general pain. But I feel 100% optimistic on this next year and to 2020 2030. Yeah, bring it on. There's no reason, in my opinion, not to be excited about what's coming this year.
Let's dwell on that a little bit. Let's dwell on, I know you said you don't want to think about those first 5 years, but it's kind of fun to dwell on that. I mean, I'll speak just in my personal journey about like, man, I really feel like from 2020 to now, I've went through this gauntlet of just change in the way that I see the world. Like maybe not even one paradigm shifts. Maybe I'm like th three clicks shifting my paradigm worldview to the right.
Yeah, a lot of people did. It was, looking back, I think I feel like I've lived two lifetimes over the last 5 years. I can also, look back and be so grateful for the path that I've been on. And today I feel like I'm set up for success towards the future. I put myself and my family in a position that we will be able to thrive, survive, continue on, but it hasn't been easy. I'm not looking for an easy road ahead. I think it will be exciting and I think it will be filled with change.
Yeah.
And most importantly, there are more people that are not willing to put up with, the bull crap. And that to me is a huge factor for the tailwinds. People being able to say no, we're not gonna put up with that.
100%. It's wild to think that, I mean, going into 2020, I wasn't, well, I guess maybe I was a little bit, I don't know. I can't recall, but really my concern for freedom of speech and for the money printer and for the nation's debt and just the all the crazy shit that I've been ranting about for the last 4.5 years. Well, a lot of that change happened in like 6 months.
Yeah,
I just became awake to it, and it's so yeah, you kind of, but now we have tools like Nostr. We should talk about Elon. I was gonna say we have the Elon purchasing X, but now there seems to be some banning and suppression of speech that's going on. We can talk about that. And anyway, I feel like having the tools now, we got Bitcoin, we've got Nostr, we have Freedom Money, we've got Freedom Communications platforms, we've got a network of like-minded individuals. So where these last 5 years have just been getting all that in place for me personally,
I agree
sharpening
with you.
tools. And now it's like we're prepared for, for what's coming. Whatever it is that's coming next, I feel like I can really face that head on and with an attitude of I'm not gonna say like you can't fuck with me, but in a way I feel sort of insulated from getting caught up into all this bullshit.
I agree. I also think it's important to note that what were marginal positions 4 years ago are now mainstream.
Yes.
Freedom of speech has made a comeback. Bitcoin is in the national conversation and will continue to be. That is the most important topic. And I think that there's exciting things happening there that you would have never, a libertarian or a conservative would never imagine that a presidential candidate now going to be President Trump would say, "Hey, we're going to get rid of the income tax," or suggest it. And suggest removing capital gains from Bitcoin. Um, those things are huge. You know, separating money from the state with Bitcoin was monstrous. What an incredible achievement in human history. But now we are advancing. Bitcoin is advancing, and it is bleeding into the conversation in ways that, you know, us plebs on Twitter a couple of years ago would never have imagined today.
100%. And I wanted to bring up this chart here from Odell because it shows the trajectory of Bitcoin just over the last year. And it's wild to me that in 2024 alone, the Bitcoin network transferred 6.6 trillion cuck bucks.
Federal Reserve notes.
Absolutely crazy. I mean, that's a crazy number.
That
And
is, it's mind-boggling. I agree. You know, one of the highlights for me last year was Odell zapped me after a comment. I might have replied to his post. I don't think he found me. I replied to his post and I got a zap from Odell, and I thought that, you know, hey, that's pretty cool.
that's sick. He would not look kindly on us with our blue checks over on X.
Yeah, everyone's got their opinions. You know, I mentioned that I got a blue check because it's the only way to show up in someone's feed if you're going to throw tomatoes at them. So if you've got an enemy or somebody that needs to hear your point of view and it's contrary to their opinion, get a blue check and throw the tomato. I mean, you're
I
not going to show up
agree.
in the replies,
I
you
agree.
know?
Listen, you got to fight the battle where it's at.
Yep.
The Nostr conversations are, that's the battle's almost been over. Like we're all on Nostr, we're all Bitcoiners, we all agree about the same stuff. Maybe there's some arguing about certain, Bitcoin adjacent stuff, but it's not. We're top of the funnel over at on X, right? Noster's more
Exactly.
bottom of the funnel. So, I think we still need us kind of like foot soldiers over there fighting the good fight, trying to. I have no illusions or delusions about myself, I guess. I'm not like, or fighting the good fight. It's like, I'm, we're doing our own, building our own profiles and stuff. There's benefits to that and, whatever. But I think it's still necessary to have those conversations.
Memes change the world, you know.
Yeah.
Memes
Yeah.
alter thinking. Memes are inception type scenarios. So I
Agree.
agree with you. I don't think that my comments are, you know, they're not going to change anyone's mind necessarily, but the power is there. And being on both platforms is not really that big a deal. I mean, there are
No big
multiple
deal. Do
social
both.
platforms,
Fuck
you
it.
know. Yeah, do it both. Do it both.
Do both.
Do it both.
I'm trying to
Um,
find a third platform. No,
I know.
I
I
don't.
kind of get that way too because I get burned out on both, and then I have Perplexity right next to it,
Oh yeah.
which for me is like just a great app for trying to find out information. So if I can't find anything to doom scroll, I start asking questions on that app.
Perplexity AI, right?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay. I don't use it. I've got it downloaded. So it's different than like a chat GPT?
I use it for search. It is
Okay.
really good and not an endorsement here. This is just my personal opinion. They've, you know, but yes, if I have a question, I'm not going to Google and I'm not going to filter through social videos or whatever on a social network. I know a lot of searches move there. I think Perplexity is the best because it scrapes the web and then distills multiple sources into a very dense paragraph with attribution. So I think they're coming under some scrutiny because their app is so good. But I 100% recommend use it as much as possible. Find out things that you think are random, you know, and it's pretty cool. I was talking with a guy yesterday, and he mentioned DHA, and I remembered like DHA is in terms of nutrition, and I remember reading someone talk about sunlight, salt water, and seafood, and how that produces DHA. I go to Perplexity, and it's like, yeah, eat salmon, eat tuna, eat oysters. You know, it's something that your body doesn't supplement enough. So, just an example of like how an app like that could put the information right at your fingertips instantly.
That's cool. So do you think it's better than X, Grok AI?
No, oh yeah, I do. I mean, I think Grok is cool. The image software is okay. I don't think is as good as some others out there, but I don't really use Grok for answering questions. Perplexity is my go-to.
I'm gonna try Perplexity. I've been using a combination of Grok and then Venice. You know,
I
Venice.
haven't heard about Venice. Mm-mm.
Venice is cool. It's Eric Voorhees's
Oh,
project.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's decentralized, private as well. So your data, I was using ChatGPT and I was using it more for the suite of tools. I would take a document, put it over there, be like, put this into a sheet for me or whatever, do this list. And it was really good for that. But I got really concerned about my data. I got really
Mm,
concerned about them like looking at all my search histories and not that, it whatever I'm searching anything that's necessarily going to be flagged, but like you never know. And also
right.
I didn't want to have my name and all that bullshit KYC data attached to what I'm searching for.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also don't fucking trust Sam Altman.
No,
So
that's a
I
whole
got
other
off of that and
ballgame.
I've been trying to just like a patchwork of different AI to get the same level of service as an open AI. I haven't quite reached that because it was really useful, but I'm just not willing to compromise on the personal information.
Yeah, I can see how AI companies, just with human nature, you get very used to using certain tools and they become the go-to. So I like to continually see what's out there because the tools are getting so much better, so much quicker than I would have anticipated. I would say if you like using one thing, don't sit on it too long because there's probably going to be another one. So
Yeah.
all that exploration for me has been really, really good.
They do
But
they do try and trap you, don't they? I think that's well, the
yeah.
obvious, right? Obviously they want to retain customers, but maybe
Yeah, and
it's a
10
good,
bucks a month, no big
yeah.
deal, you know.
Maybe it's a good segue over to Elon because, well, one, they've got the AI thing, they've got XAI or Grok, whatever the F it's called, and whatever the F it's called.
F. Yeah. Why'd they start with a G? They should just call it
I,
FAI.
yeah, I was watching Home Alone, so I'm on my no cursing. I can't be fucking cursing all the time. Shit. Okay.
Yeah, cut that shit out.
Well, so XAI, but they recently got $6 billion, right? They got 6 billion to fund XAI, and then recently they announced that, and this was on like New Year's Day, which was yesterday, I guess, which feels like a while ago. I, I have a hard time like
Hey,
keeping track of
hol
like the days of
holidays are
the
tough.
week. I'm like, what it so anyway, so then X payments as well. So they're really trying to be they are trying to be the everything app, right? So they want to gatekeep payments. They want to be the go-to AI place. And the fund, I mean, I think that where's the funding coming from? A16Z is one of them.
Right.
And okay, I'm concerned. I'm starting to get a little bit concerned that if we just continue to give them our attention this way and maybe like have to verify for payments and stuff and then if you're getting paid by X you have to use X payments and then if you start disagreeing with Elon then they cut your payments off and your livelihood and it seems it's just cautious
Hmm.
territory. I don't know how to quite maybe explain it right now because I'm a little tired and it's been a
No,
fun
you're
week.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're on there. I think we're watching the digital prison being built, and I think we are instead of maybe in China where they just forced it down your throat, we're accepting it. We're
Building
inviting it.
we're building the
And yeah, and Elon has been ingratiating himself with the right, with those personalities. And I think that, we are, if you get lured into that and if you adopt it and believe it, good luck. You do not want to have a single point of failure. X may be the everything app at some point. It doesn't mean it's going to be the only app I use. I may use it for, there's no way I'm getting monetized, first of all. I've been working my ass off and I've got 2.8 million impressions over the last 3 months. There's no way
Need
I'm getting to
five,
five.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no way I'm getting to five. I'm not getting to five. So I don't have to worry about being paid out in X tokens. But I think we have to be aware that they are trying to build a digital prison. They do want to keep you in it. They want to prevent you from speaking, being able to transact, limiting where you go. That's all happening. It's no longer something that people were warning about. It's here and it's happening very insidiously. The people who you thought were your friends are the ones putting it together.
Insidious is the right word. I think it's a very smart approach. It's a creepy approach. It's manipulative because take the counter stance here. Someone listened to us speak about this about, oh, we're building a prison, and maybe they're not in America, and they're like, oh, we're building a prison, really? Because you can say whatever the fuck you want on X. No one's banned you. You still have the opportunity to speak your mind. But here's the difference. If you were going to do something where you wanted to control speech and control people. If you're going to try and do something like that to Americans, you would need to do it in a very smart way because you can't do the traditional totalitarian way where you're taking people's phones or doing it by strong force because we have the fucking Second Amendment, right? How you would do it is exactly like this. You'd feign all the token words. You'd feign that you are a freedom of speech maximalist. You would feign that you are like the good guy that's coming to set you free from these crazy lefties. You would really lean into that type of terminology. You'd buy something, you'd overpay for it. You would criticize the people that you could criticize and get away with that type of shit, and then you would get a whole herd of people over to you and singing your praises, and you'd be able you just get them all in, and then they start building this open air prison themselves. They're true believers, right? Because maybe Elon's done a favor here and a favor there, and and next thing you know, you're getting paid in what looks like is going to be X tokens or something like that because A16Z is involved. There's going to be some type of shitcoinery. I just have to imagine
There
that it's
is.
going to be Bitcoin, right?
They're not going to use. No.
Because Bitcoin's too easy and it's the best form of money. So why use that? Let's just
Right.
complicate it to something that we can control. And next thing you know, we get in another situation where Elon has been removing blue checks and suppressing reach. He can take away your payment. He could take away your livelihood. And it's just something to be aware of, right? And I exercise caution here. Um, yeah, it's concerning.
Conspiracy revealed. I think what you said is 100% on point. It's the people that you don't expect. You think they're on your side, but they're really not. They have their own agenda. I think they allow us to say gay and retarded as,
Right.
tongue in cheek
Yay. And
as
we're
a
so
yeah,
and we're so
as
gay retarded for buying into that.
right, exactly. Like that's the meme, right? The meme is they'll let us say those two words, but we have to accept the digital prison. But like you said, we don't have to be afraid of that. There are tools that exist that allow us to continue to speak. And Primal, I love that you pull that up because that's the app I use. Um, Primal is something that people don't really care about today, but they will when this all becomes really obvious. And we're not quite there yet. We're not at the obvious point. I think the last week between Elon and Vivek and the H-1B visas, that was sort of a shot across the bow. And I think when you see how people truly are, you have to listen to them. And that's we can't pretend. We're not going back. The toothpaste is out of the tube.
Can we talk about that Sam Hyde video for a moment? I just thought that it was
Yeah,
incredible.
let's
First off, going into that,
let's
I,
do it.
I had no idea who Sam Hyde was. Did you?
I had no idea, and I'm gonna insert like a 30-second clip in post
Yeah,
for
great.
You realize that
context.
people are fucking up against the wall fighting to make ends meet? Do you understand that the American people are on the ropes right now? Your people are not the world, okay? It's the American people. That's where this shit is popping off. That's where you came to do business. The American people are your problem now, to the extent that you want people to pay attention to your opinion. And by people, I mean actual people, not Patrick Bet David, not Ian Miles Chong, Scott Adams, not these fucking faggots that'll walk around sucking your ass because you have money and because you made an electric car. But to the extent that you want that, you have to protect the American people. You're all about being pro-natalism and increasing the birth rate. Why is the average dude gonna wanna have kids when he can barely afford to live by himself and eat Domino's? Hey, why isn't China importing infinity Indians right now? If it's such a huge economic advantage, why isn't China doing it? We need to do a naval blockade of China to make sure they don't get any of these amazing Indians. Every Indian that makes his way into China is a threat because China will use their genius to get one over on us. That's the biggest threat this country's facing, right? I think we need to go nuclear.
Oh yeah, you know what? And then he's a Bitcoiner, Sam Hyde.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. Is he really? That's man, we're just not gonna stop winning.
Dude, I'm watching it. Well, he mentioned Bitcoin twice.
It's
So
good enough for me.
like halfway through he goes, it's like, yeah, I got lucky. I bought Bitcoin, and then he just
Oh,
kind of
nice.
and then toward the end, toward like the last maybe 10% of the video, he goes, sorry for, or yeah, I know this is a very serious video, but what I guess I'm trying to say is buy Bitcoin.
Oh man, I missed that part. That is hilarious. I must
So
have ended.
the whole thing, and then he goes, I guess what I'm really trying to say after fucking dropping truth bomb after truth bomb is what really matters is buy Bitcoin.
It does give you, Bitcoin gives you the ability to say F you. Depending on when you bought it and how much you have, there is a point where you'll be able to say F you. I've got
Yeah,
Bitcoin. Oh,
I did that.
this is the FU hat right there.
Yeah, there it is. I did that once upon a time in Hollywood Leo meme where I was like, oh, that Bitcoin.
On the on the couch.
Yeah, on the couch drinking a beer.
Yeah. There it is.
So we got that, man. I'm following this guy now, Sam Hyde. I'm subscribed on YouTube. I'm following him on X, and
Yeah.
it looks like in the last couple days he has rebranded his YouTube and his X to look like the aesthetic is like he's going to continue on what he did in that last video. So we might get some more higher frequency of that type of content where he's just talking about news events and shit that matters, which
I
I'm
mean
not.
that yeah, that's great. Go to where the action is, right? I mean, how many people have been introduced to him like us for the first time?
I mean, I think the
How
video,
big
last
is
time
your
I
thing
checked,
now?
that video has 12 million views.
That's that's just a huge number. I mean, you know, to our credit, I think our last video got 39 views. So
We're getting
we're
there.
10 years, man, and we'll be there where Sam Hyde is.
Well, listen, dude, he's been doing this for a long time from what it looks like. And even the part of the problem guys, Dave Smith and Robbie Bernstein, they were doing their podcast and you're getting like hundreds of views for years. And then you just never know what's going to take off. In
Right.
a way, I'm not doing this for that reason. It's just fun to come and talk about this type of shit with a fellow Bitcoiner.
I'm glad you said that because this will be our eighth episode, and we just watched everyone go to the 100K party. You were there, I was there. We
Oh,
had a
yeah.
great
Black.
But I feel the same way. Like, this might not lead to anything other than me being able to talk to another Bitcoiner and put that conversation on the internet. I like that. That's enough motivation for me.
That's it. It makes me feel less crazy.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible, though, what I've done with my life at this point. Like my passion, I love reading about Bitcoin, talking about it, podcasting about it. My career is in it now, and I seemingly can't get enough of this shit. So it's like anything. I think back to the person I was 5 years ago, and I'm like, wow, what a shift.
Yeah. So I'm guessing that you are, the life lessons, you're smarter, you're stronger.
Yeah.
You're healthier, you're
Yes.
wealthier. What else? You know, all of those. Those are the big ones anyway. I mean, you've probably got all that in spades now.
It's pretty incredible. It does change, it does change your relationship with other things, um, certain friendships,
Hmm.
of the shallow type, right? Of the
Yeah,
I don't drink or
shallow.
party or anything like that like I was. Even 5 years ago, really wasn't. But I mean, it's definitely whatever, if those friendships were sort of out there, they've at this point completely fizzled out.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's the natural progression, right? As you get better, you have to leave things behind that didn't match the future for you.
Right. Right.
Yeah. What do you think of that 100K party? Would you have gone if you got the invite?
No, I wouldn't have.
Really?
No,
Oh
I would.
man,
Well, listen,
I would have gone.
logistically, being in Hawaii,
Yeah, that's true. It would have taken you, that would have been a pretty good flight.
yeah, I have not looked at any direct options. I don't think there's a direct option from Honolulu to, you know, Miami.
That's a good 14 hours.
Yeah, not include, 11 to maybe 14 hours, depending on, I don't know, layover, stuff like that. And then the 5 hour time difference, and probably have to take a red eye, be like a shell of a person. To do something like that, I'd really have to get there a few days before
Yeah.
to make it worth it, and then maybe take a trip up and do something else on the mainland.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't join the live stream. I guess there was an opportunity to
Yeah.
see what was going on in the live stream. I didn't do that. But I'm happy for the people that made it. It looked like it was a great event. I think it's clear that I would say a certain percentage, I don't know the number, a 50 or 70, those people that have been there or that were there, they really did contribute to Bitcoin. It looks like they
Would
brought
be.
in the influencers, they brought in the crypto guys, they brought in the MicroStrategy guys, and there's a spectrum of being legitimate and being a joke. I understand that, but there were a lot of people who I think their ideas have helped me throughout the last year, 4 years. So I think it was cool to see people who were doing something totally different join Bitcoin, contribute their voice, and then I would say get rewarded by being at Sailor's Pad for a night.
Yeah, there's a lot of legends there. People that I haven't seen in a while too, that are just in the background, still involved, but not maybe active on X or even Nostr, which is cool to see.
Mhm.
Um, and then of course you had some of these like those
Yeah,
guys, and
plenty of those guys.
there was a video that I don't know if the guy is Austrian or whatever. I don't even know his name. Not even gonna give him a shout out, but he interviewed Dennis Porter. And it was like the most perfect interview because Dennis Porter is like the hype guy, like breaking news. I'm going to announce breaking news in 2 days. And then on that day, it's like, this breaking news that the breaking news is coming down the pike. Get ready.
Right.
So just the ultimate Bitcoin hype guy to the ultimate like crypto hype guy. And the thumbnail image of them having that conversation, the guy's like, oh, strategic Bitcoin reserve. Kind of sounds like
Right, right. And
how
it's
did he
funny.
get in? How did he get in? And
I
how,
don't know.
what was the process for inviting people? Could you just show up and be like, "Yo, can I come in?"
I don't think it came from Sailor himself. What I've seen is
No,
that
no
it
way. Yeah.
came from somebody connected to the podcast circuit, and they were looking for the people that had the largest audiences. They were looking for the influencers, essentially.
I'd like to
And
figure out
that's
what
fair.
company that
No?
is. I'd like to figure out who that is and what they do exactly. That company. Who's that person? I wonder.
Talent rep of some kind.
Yeah, but I wonder if they're Bitcoins. No, they wouldn't be Bitcoin. They'd be crypto. They'd be
Yeah,
all because you wouldn't get you wouldn't think to invite those guys, right?
that's right. I think, yeah, that's right.
Not that I really, whatever, it's a party. Um, I like I don't know. I didn't even really I knew about it. Like I didn't know to the extent of how busy it was going to be, seeing the
Yeah.
videos.
Yeah. I'm fine that I didn't get invited. I never expected to be invited. I don't ever expect to be invited, and that's just fine. But it did look like it did look like fun, you know. It looked like a lot of people. But here's the other thing: many of those people are ones that you can meet at conferences. You know,
Yep.
they show up. I've met a lot of people who, some of my Twitter nim friends I recognized, or we got to talking and I found out who they were. And then, yeah, there's all kinds of interesting people at the Bitcoin meetups or the Bitcoin conferences. So I think if that's the scene that you're interested in, it's probably smart to be, you know, in person and meet them and then, you know, try to build a relationship from there. But I don't think I saw anybody there that hadn't already essentially doxed themselves. You know, they've got their name, their face, their account. They're public figures essentially.
Yeah, you thinking you're gonna dox yourself in 2025, or are you gonna
I
keep
don't
your
know. I hadn't thought about that. I don't know. I'm sure we have to a degree, but yeah, I
to
don't know.
a degree, to a degree. So I think it's okay to keep our current pictures, profile pictures, and to keep the NIM, keep the brands, right? Bird Flip, Cold Hard Sats, but then put the podcast out, and those that are in the know will just know that that's us, right? It's not like we're protecting it as much, but we're not sharing our last names or
Right.
things of that nature. Not we're gonna post a statue on LinkedIn, God forbid.
I'm never doing that. Somebody can post a clip. I don't care, but no. I mean, only because
It's not
that
the
is
LinkedIn kind of show, my man.
no, man. If I wanted to do that, I would just go to the landfill. I just feel like LinkedIn is um that's not the place where a Bitcoin message breaks through. When it does, Bitcoin will be hyper Bitcoinized.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking right now, I said earlier that I was going to go on LinkedIn and put my company out there and write a message about it and be like, hey guys, exciting news in my career.
I'll
Bitcoin's gonna
thumbs down
change
it.
the world, right? And I've written it. I said I was gonna do it because I think it could be good. It's just like common business practices. Here's what you would do. You go out and market yourself, put the business on LinkedIn, right? People like to see that, but I just can't bring myself to do it. It's I mean, it's corporate social media and it's so damn cringe. And I've participated in a lot of that cringe over the years. I just can't bring myself to do it right now. Maybe that'll change,
Yeah.
but for right now, I'm keeping it off LinkedIn.
I think the worlds should not collide. I would I would like to see, you know, because I do the same thing. I've got a creative brand marketing business. So I try
Right.
to get clients right now exclusively that are Bitcoin centric or Bitcoin denominated. So I'm using X and I'm, you know, creating examples that I think that founder or that marketing team will look at, and then I'll tag them. And then hopefully I get a chance to explain what I do. But I would much rather have that kind of interaction and say, hey, look, we believe in the same things than trying to sift through well, or trying to break through all the, you know, the noise that's on LinkedIn. To me, that's just like one giant spam website.
Totally, man. Totally. I've had success just DMing
Yeah.
founders or marketing leads on X. And I get on the call with them and I'm not, my profile picture is an Asian man. And the first thing I've got to say is, hey, sorry, I'm not Asian.
Domo arigato.
But in what other world could you do that? What other world could you just shit post on Twitter all day and talk about Bitcoin and then build up a network of like-minded individuals that also happen to be, founders and CEOs of these companies that are, Bitcoin focused and be able to work with them. It's
Mhm.
really an incredible thing. So as long as I can continue to make that formula work, I really want nothing to do with LinkedIn. And if I stall out or something happens and I really feel like I need to do that or it's the right thing to do to spread a message or something, then maybe I'll rethink through that again. But for the life of me, I want to avoid LinkedIn. I want to leave that behind.
Stay strong. You
Thank
can
you.
do it.
Thank
You
you.
can do one more year. Just take it one year at a time
Yeah.
of
Maybe
staying
I'll
off
maybe I'll
LinkedIn.
announce right now, breaking news. Big news to announce. Set your calendars for December 31st, 2025. And
That'd be good. And then
and then I'll just like continue to spread that message throughout the year and be like, it's huge, it's huge. And it'd be hilarious if I get enough people to be like, what's he gonna say? And then I do a live stream like, I'm doing LinkedIn.
it'll
Yeah.
be on Polymarket. What's the over under
I'm,
on
I'm
joining
creating
LinkedIn?
a
What's
I'm creating a cringe post on LinkedIn. Here's what
20%
Bitcoin taught me
chance?
about B2B sales.
Yeah, SaaS. My SaaS sales. Goodness.
Fuck that. Can't do it. Can't do it. Won't do
No,
it.
thank you.
Anyway, what do we want to do next? What do we want to talk about?
I think we should go into 2025 predictions.
Okay. You go
Let's
first.
get to 2025 predictions.
Okay. You go
Let's
first.
get let's get to the good stuff. Okay. So price targets, I don't really know. I think easy we could be 250 half million dollars of Bitcoin. I
Worth
think
saying
this
we're
is
at 97 right now, just so the viewers
oh
know
yeah.
that timestamp for us. We're at 97, up 3.4% on the day.
Yeah, 97. So I think we're going to see a big increase in price. Not a big deal. That's going to happen anyway. I think that we're going to see capital gains tax removed from Bitcoin. We talked about that a couple episodes ago. And I think that there will be some kind of financial crisis or the debt issue. I think we'll have to face it and we'll need to have a solution of some kind. So this is my prediction. I think that Tether becomes a household name in 2025. And I think that we will see Tether and Bitcoin living side by side. Bitcoin as your savings, Tether as your digital dollar. And so this goes back to what we were talking about with Elon and the future of X payments and digital payments. I think that the crisis will be so in need of a solution that digital currency comes to the forefront. Bitcoin is going along with it, but it won't be Bitcoin only. We won't be yet on a Bitcoin standard. I think we're going to take a step into digital currency with Tether, and that'll be the thing that's in your bank account. You won't really know it. They're figuring out the marketing, the branding, but essentially that will be your digital dollar.
Digital dollar, we talking CBDC?
Yeah, Tether. That's what I think. Stable coin, a digital coin that's pegged to the US dollar, which, let's be honest, it has no backing. There's nothing that backs it except our military or our institutions, if you want to be generous. But I think that narrative is dying out. With Bitcoin, we have, the argument has been changed. Like something has to back your currency with Bitcoin. It's proof of work, it's energy, it's electricity, and it's this vast computer network that's, the largest computer network in the world. That's what backs your currency. But I think the stable coin, and maybe it's not Tether, maybe it's USD Circle or something, but I
No,
think
it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be
I
USD.
don't think so
It
either.
would be Tether for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, in that way, if that is the de facto digital dollar, and we're really using that, rolling that out, we're not we, but the United States or other governments, then we just sort of became the reserve. Bitcoin just became the reserve asset of the dollar,
Right.
right? And that's good. I will not use USDT. I'll just continue to use Bitcoin and live on my own Bitcoin standard and run a node and do all that stuff. But Jack Mallers says some good stuff about all this. When he goes and he travels to different countries and tries to get an idea of what they like to use when they have the option. Well, they always have the option of Bitcoin. They like to use USDT. And this is sort of an uncomfortable truth because you want everyone to just use Bitcoin, but they are not comfortable with the volatility of that. And they just maybe want to save that Bitcoin. So they have the Bitcoin, but they use the USDT. Jack Mallers is okay with that. He thinks that that is the right approach, depending on where you're at. And fine. Mark Goodwin does have a good book about this called The Digital Dollar, which I have read in chunks, but I want to go back and give that a read. He's talked a lot about this whole dynamic, both him and Whitney Webb. And
Mhm.
Whitney Webb, I actually deserve, I'm not going to, I should watch some more videos and get an idea of her exact position. But I think in a nutshell, because I don't want to misrepresent it, but in a nutshell, what they're both arguing is that USDT is going to be at the CBDC.
Yeah,
That
I've heard him say that, and maybe that's where I got my prediction from at some point. But
really, well,
well, not that.
people are
I mean,
talking about it. A lot of people are talking about it.
yeah, but I do remember him saying something similar. I watched that one show, the podcast they did together. I don't care if Whitney Webb likes Bitcoin or doesn't like Bitcoin or thinks that BlackRock has co-opted it. I could care less what she thinks, because I can run my node, I can look at my own balance, I can send transactions without them being flagged or stopped. So
Right.
I fully feel like,
Work
you
it.
know,
BlackRock, that's the whole thing. Sorry to interject, but they're like, oh, BlackRock controls it. They're gonna do their own Bitcoin. Go for it. Fucking go for it. Okay.
go for it.
Create BlackRock Bitcoin and see what happens. How many times have we been through this? It's just like the same old tired argument. Like,
It is.
yeah, we know it's happened tons of times. We're
Yeah,
gonna
you're not going to be able to prevent anyone from using Bitcoin, which is why Bitcoin will never go away. You
right.
know, it's fantastic. Like you're never going to stop it, no matter if your enemy uses it or yourself. Like it is here to stay. So, but I think you're right. I think Mark Goodwin, yeah, he's a smart guy, good researchers. Um, I think that they have, a lot of great things to say, but I agree with you.
Nice. Do you have price predictions? Did you say it? I don't know if I
I
listened.
kind of did. I think it wouldn't be crazy to see 500,000 of Bitcoin this year. I would love to have it go to a million, but I also am still trying to stack sats. So I was thinking today, a million sats right now, it's 970 bucks. The average American, 40%, it's between 40 and 50%, don't even have $1,000 in their savings or checking account. So even a million sats today is out of reach for any person you meet. Not every person, but the average person you'll meet. So I think that we could go to 500,000 a coin. I think the time of the regular guy to stack a full Bitcoin is quickly diminishing. I'm still going to try to do it, but I think, yeah, I think probably 500K is a safe bet. Wouldn't surprise me to be a million.
Yeah, that's a
What's
little
your thought?
little bearish, buddy. I gotta tell you, I'm a little
Oh,
disappointed.
oh, good. What do you got?
5 million.
5 million this year? Let's fucking go. Are you serious?
No, I think a million. I think a million in because this is
Okay.
not being driven by retail anymore. The price
Right.
movements that we saw was all retail driven leading up to really this last year,
Yeah.
right? And now, so my prediction is a million because it feels very uncomfortable to even say those words. You can't even fathom us going from 100K right now to a million. That's a 10x in 12 months. Oh man, that sounds crazy. It's things like this have
Bitcoin
happened.
Bitcoin 10x is all the time though.
10x
Like it's
10Xs all the time, and that's happened under retail environments, retail driven environments. So that's my prediction, 1 million. And I think that's driven by nation state adoption and reserve asset adoption with companies, private companies, publicly traded companies. IBIT said that they're going to be there are so many companies out there that are going to be adopting Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset. They're going to put it on their treasury, right?
yeah.
And old uh what's a Rumble, you're going to have way bigger companies that are going to start buying Bitcoin because they're more tapped in. So they're talking to other politicians, people about, okay, our country's really going to put this on their treasury? Are they really gonna do that? And they're closer to that. So I think that they're gonna start trying to front run countries. I
Yeah.
think they're gonna try and front run nation state adoption.
Yeah.
And then once you
Think
get the
about
nation, like a nation or two that comes in here and starts buying a crazy amount of Bitcoin, then we can go from 100 to a million in no time.
yeah, and we could have $100,000 swings in price,
Yeah.
within a day. I also think that BlackRock and Fidelity and Arc, they aren't going to say, okay, we stacked, for our clients, we stacked 1 million Bitcoin during the first year of our ETF. What they're going to point to is the success that when they first launched the Bitcoin ETFs, we were around 44,000. They ended the year, close to 100. And they're going to go after each of their customers and say, listen, we've done it a year. It's tried and true. It's proven. Get in now. We still expect to have really healthy returns by the end of this year. They are not going to stop. They're going to go with what works. Bitcoin has far outpaced the Nasdaq 100, gold, the S&P. I mean, it has crushed everything. There is no reason to think that they're done. They're not going to add any more Bitcoin. I don't think so. Those ETFs are a monster. And we're talking about like they did 1 million Bitcoin. There's going to be 1 million, I mean, gone for another year. They're going to stack more than that, I guess is what I'm saying.
I also think we're going to see, now that they're promoting this, expect to see advertisements, expect to see commercials on traditional TV, expect to see a Super Bowl commercial next month.
That might still be too soon. Maybe. I just feel like the Tom Brady FTX fiasco,
No, no,
it's
no.
still fresh for a lot of people.
This is my hot prediction. I
Oh
think
man, this is
I think
all
we're back.
right.
I think well, it okay, next year's Super Bowl when we that'll be that'll be like what feeling like very frothy
Yeah,
FTX type of stuff, and we'll see some crazy shit, right? And
yeah,
it'll happen at a time when we've like taken a couple $100,000 dip.
right. There you
But
go.
I don't know who it's going to come from, but I think this year's Super Bowl next month we will see a Bitcoin commercial.
Wow. Okay. You know
That's
what?
the hot prediction.
Let's
I
not.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, if I could build on that, I'm not going to disagree with you like I did at first. My first reaction was no, but I think that Bitwise could do
Right.
that.
Right.
They pulled off the commercial that it was a play on the Dos Equis commercial, the most interesting man in the world, I think. And I could see them tapping into the Super Bowl because they're kind of they have 1 billion or so, 5 billion under management. I can't remember what the number is, but they're like a young gun sort of. And I would be surprised if BlackRock kind of came down to the Super Bowl level. I think that they want to be seen a little bit more. They might advertise at the Masters or something like that. I don't know, just throwing it out there. But you might be right there.
I'm not even gonna count Coinbase because Coinbase will do a commercial, but
They don't count though.
they don't count.
It's
So that's what I'm
yeah,
saying right now, just for the record, I will not count that as a win.
I agree. So I had a thought just popped in my head. I
Cash
followed
App,
a
on the other hand, would count. Cash App would count.
okay because it's Bitcoin and stocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me, I had a pleb follow me. I followed him back, and then he started talking about a shitcoin. What do you do when someone who you think is a Bitcoiner on X starts shitcoining?
What were they shitcoining? What was it?
Oh, I don't even want to say it. Chainlink or something like that.
Oh, fucking unfollow. Are you kidding me?
That's exactly what I did. It made me feel bad because I love the plebs. I want to follow people. I want to be followed. I enjoy the conversations, and I've learned so much from the pleb community. But the second you start talking about something that isn't Bitcoin and isn't altcoin, forget
Yeah.
about it. Get out of here. Beat it.
I asked you what it was, not that any other, shitcoin would be acceptable, but even MicroStrategy could be considered a shitcoin since it's not Bitcoin. But I don't really consider that a shitcoin because it's Bitcoin adjacent. But there's a lot of shitcoin mentality, a lot of shitcoin talk with the MicroStrategy crew.
Right. And it's all fast money, like easy
Fast,
returns,
easy. Yeah, exactly.
no
Shift
work.
mentality. So if it's like if you're talking about that too much and you're talking about what MicroStrategy is doing tomorrow or the next week, I'm not gonna fucking follow you. I could care less. I just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like geez. But yeah, absolutely unfollow. These guys gotta learn, man. You gotta learn the hard way. You can't be shitcoining and you go sit in the corner. You get unfollowed.
Yeah, exactly. Why don't you sit out and just view posts for a while instead?
Yeah.
Here we go. I'm canceling someone. I'm removing someone's freedom of speech for sure.
Yeah. Oh wow. We've turned into it's so people do make that argument like no it's you have a you know.
Well, I got self-awareness about it. I can see my own hypocrisy.
By the way, you mentioned iBit. Um,
Yeah.
just to quickly recap what they did this year, BlackRock's iBit has set the record as the greatest launch in ETF history.
Yeah.
The fastest ETF on the market to achieve record-breaking AUM, they gathered over 50 billion of assets in just 11 months since January. Holy shit, right?
Yeah,
It's
it's uh
unprecedented.
it's funny. I see a lot of people say BlackRock has done this, BlackRock has done that. They're a custodian, for their customers. So I think it's probably true that anytime someone sells any ETF, IBIT share, BlackRock probably keeps the Bitcoin and just gives them back cash, and holds their Bitcoin for themselves. I don't know if that's true, but that's my suspicion. But that belongs to their customers, generally speaking. They are buying it on their own, and they've been public about that. But um,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess the point that I'm making is they're treated as a boogeyman, like, oh no, BlackRock owns it all, but they own it on behalf of their clients for a large degree.
That's right. Larry Fink went from saying it was just a tool for money laundering to calling it digital gold and all this. So that metamorphosis has been incredible. And
Hmm.
it missed me with all the fucking BlackRock FUD. It's like saying the NSA controls Bitcoin or the CIA created Bitcoin. And it's like, dude, you just don't, it's open, auditable code. You can go look at it if you know how to do that. And there's no back doors, there's no mechanism for which to control it. It's just open technology that
Yep.
anybody could use. I'm sorry, what else they created? Even if they did create it, they didn't, but if they did create it, they wouldn't create it like this. Okay. But they've also created the internet. Look at
Right.
what DARPA has created, NSA and the CIA, but LSD. It's like,
Dude,
right?
we're going down a new rabbit hole, man.
Yeah.
Whole new rabbit hole.
There's a lot. They've created so much. So, you know, what else have they? I
And
don't
yeah, and we thank them for their patriotism on
know.
behalf of the United States of America.
Yeah. Okay, let's get away from this. I got to wrap up soon. I've got another
All right,
call. The
let's
stack.
let's either stack some sats.
Well, let's do a quick have well, we don't have a have fun. Do you ever have fun staying poor?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Anyone that doesn't stack sats can have fun staying poor.
Okay, cool. This is a bit of a different day we're doing here. First show of 2025. What are we stacking today? 25.
25. All right.
25 to 25. Okay,
This
I'm
will
using
be
River.
I'm using Strike. It's going to be a 24-cent fee, and I'm stacking at 97K, 97.5.
I'm stacking at 97.6.
25,391 sats.
Let's go, baby.
There they go. Oh, trying to
You
get it.
bought every day in 2025, is that right?
That is, I have. I was thinking about just doing it every single day, right?
Yeah.
Buy sats every single day, forget about the amount. But one thing I was thinking is if you bought 10,000 sats every day, it would take you 10,000 days to reach one whole Bitcoin.
Wow.
That's 27 years.
Wow.
So I got to stack more
This
than
at this
10,000.
rate, at this rate, at this
I
price
mean, yeah, the best thing is probably to
yeah.
stack $45,000 worth of stack sats in 2 days, and then you get your Bitcoin right there in the same week. But yeah, man, 10,000 sats, 10,000 days, 27 years. Ugh, for one Bitcoin.
Yeah, I was gonna say I said at those price levels, but then I guess I wasn't fully listening. Um, yeah, dude. Wow. I mean, 2025, it's gonna be banner. I feel like I'm tired right now, and I feel like I'm gonna hit my stride. And typically this happens for me. I drain myself out over the holiday season, doing all the party stuff, the family stuff, and then first, second week of January, I really start to hit my stride. So
Yeah, man. I'll be looking forward to seeing that.
yeah.
I wouldn't have known. You're good, dude. I mean, it's a tough time of year, you know. You're either hungover mentally, physically, financially, or emotionally. Like this is
Yes.
the hangover season. Doesn't matter
Yes.
what you're drinking, eating, or doing.
Right. That's right. But 2025 is going to be great. I feel it. I feel like something special is in the air. So
Yeah.
let's.
All right, man. Till next time.
All right, brother. Have a good one.
Peace.
Peace.